Hello, we're back to part 2. So I actually finished most of the drawing. So from here, actually, I moved from here, the eyes, to the next eye. And then from that, I moved on to the cheeks here. Went to the chin, and actually I had to raise this a little bit. So moved to the chin, it was a little bit longer. Then the nose was a little bit higher here, so I had to drop it a little bit. So for the lips, this was a little bit challenging, so I had to find this first. These angles. Then just use that to create first this. Whatever is most clearest to you, that's what you should find, right? What makes sense to you is what you look where to put it. Like if it's easier to find this angle or this, maybe this, then do that first. And from that, that's gonna help you find this, right? Because I received an email from, maybe she's a viewer, and she was asking how to draw like this. To be honest, I have to tell you first, to answer that question, like I'm assuming that you want to be able to do something like this, like every one of us before. First, I think it's necessary to adjust the expectation. So I have to tell you that it's not easy. Okay, so first of all, it's not easy. I'm saying that so you can adjust your expectations to your performance. So when you fail, then you don't like judge yourself too much, right? So you kind of remove the judgment out from the learning process. So it's not easy. Then also you can adjust your willpower, and then you can schedule yourself. Like you can make your own schedule to practicing drawing. So it's best to understand that drawing is not easy, and it takes time to learn things about drawing that helps you draw. So what are those things that helps us draw? First is recognizing shapes, right? Recognizing shapes, recognizing points, and then finding angles that relates 2 points together or 3 points together, right? So if I, for example, here, if I imagine, I decide this point right here, this point, let's say this point, and this point, right? So if I consider that, I'll think of a pyramid that goes from here to here to here. So I see all these angles, right? So it's like a cone that sideways, right? So that's gonna help me then to find these points here for my drawing, right? That's gonna help me like align the points. So shapes, points, and angles. So finding angles is good. These are these are the things that helps us. Even if we use the grid, we're gonna have to use that, because when you're using a grid, it's just similar. This one is like a big grid. This one's a big grid, right? We actually, yesterday we added a single line here, which serves as like a grid, right? And then we use the whatchamacallit, that thing that measuring tool. Any measuring tool will work. You can use a ruler or whatever. Renzo advises to use the same size when practicing. So, okay, what else? Adjust your expectations, and be kind to yourself, like rest. Like what we did in the previous lives. I was trying to do something, to draw, to copy in the same way as other artists on YouTube does it. Like they just put paint, right? Like do this and that until they get the painting. And we can learn that. I can learn that, for example, but I have to like dedicate time and schedule, and every session that I do, there's always this question that I have to look for answers in my mind. Like, okay, so I'm trying to copy this with this technique, right? This shapes from a brush, because they're doing brushes like this, right? So they're painting this thick brush to create these shapes. So I have to now adjust, like I have to adjust how I see shapes, because coming from a more engineering architecture type of thinking, I'm so much more comfortable when seeing lines rather than like silhouettes, right? But you know, shapes like this are very useful, right? Like for example here, if I drew this using lines, this one, the lips, if I tried to copy this using lines and not this shades, this darkness, like I had to shade this slowly like this to create those shape. So if I wasn't drawing in shape, it would be harder, because I have to look for this angle, right? So it was so much better for me to just shade it. Oh, is this the right thickness? Okay, that's the right thickness. So I'll just go on. So it slowly builds. And of course, take it slow. Don't try to don't expect mastery like after your first drawing or second drawing. It's just like the gym, right? We're always excited, we're always too excited to be able to do it, because like for normal people, they think that drawing is so easy, right? They don't even like for non-artists, they think that this stuff is easy, then they can do it. Like they don't want to pay you because they think it's easy. Like, why should I pay you this much when it's very easy? Drawing is easy, they say, right? Usually that's how people perceive drawing, it's easy. But when you draw in such a way, the way they think, like how do you say it? Like when they say drawing is easy, so there's an output there, right? When you draw in that easy way, you're gonna have like an output, like maybe a stickman, maybe. So it's best like when you're going to the gym, sometimes we're too excited, and then after our first like first sets of like sets, then we go home, we're gonna check our muscles and we check our bellies, if we've lost, how much fat have we lost, and stuff like that. So you know, it's good, it's fun to be like that, but it might add to frustration if we expect too much. like I said, it's the process. So if you focus too much on being able to do this than learning how, than enjoying the process of learning how, right? Then it's going to be much more difficult. So I think the best advice is to love the learning process. And because anyway, if you're an artist, if you like doing art, you're gonna be learning for your entire career or your entire life. So it's just like being a doctor. You have to like learn every new like technology or new medicine, right? So it's the same way. I have to learn every day, and for every subject it's a different struggle. So I'll start with simple stuff like maybe nobody does that, right? Nobody does like still life. Like you download a photo from Pinterest, maybe a still life photo. Let me look for it. I haven't even looked for it, but I have like a still life burger, and I was planning to draw that for the longest time, but I just don't feel it. Let me search. I have lots of references here on Pinterest. Yeah, we have lots here. Like you can choose this, right? This image is really good. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna download that. There are lots of AI images that we can use because AI is free. Turn it into a black and white in your phone, maybe, or if you have a PC, you can turn it there. And the purpose of turning it into black and white is so you're not distracted with color. So you're gonna be focused more on the shape, the angles, right? So when you're trying to draw something, like it's best to not follow any advice on how to draw a shape. Like if your natural form, your natural movement is you're able to draw like good curves, right? Then I would want you to build on that instead of like forcing yourself to draw in angles, then later go into curves, right? Because I've noticed even in my own drawings, there are times that it's easier to draw the curve. If I see a curve here in the reference, it's easier for me to draw it. But if it's harder, then I can like slowly build the curve. But sometimes it's easier to draw the curve, right? So I want you to like use your strengths, like build on what's strong, what's already strong in you. Because there are people who can like your handwriting will always inform how you draw, right? So if you're like very comfortable doing like cursives, and you can do cursives very fast, and it's not like the cursives of like crazy cursives, like really actually like cursives, then yeah, use that. That's how you draw. You're gonna be, and it's really nice. When you look at drawings by let's say, I think it was Peter Paul Rubens. I think Peter Paul Rubens has like this, his curves are like modernist. There's actually like anger. I can feel the anger in his strokes, right? So maybe he has repressed anger issues or something. Ruben, I forget the name of that artist, but he does curves, and his drawings are like curves, always. So if that's your style, then if that's your strength, I don't want you to get away from that. You have to, for me, build on that, because that's already part of your nature, right? So again, back to the question, try to find like for example, like if you find a photo, like for example, you find an old master drawing, it's always better to start with an old master drawing. Maybe start with a Raphael, those old Renaissance artists. And you'll notice that they have curves, they have edges, and you won't notice them until you kind of look deeper and try to copy just sections of them. Like maybe get the crop the eye part, or crop the cheek part, or just take the head and just try to draw the head, right? Just try to draw it. Like prepare lots of paper. I used to use like newsprint paper because they're so easy to throw away, and when you're angry you can just quickly throw them away, and they're thin, so they're easy to like pile up in the trash. And what else? Oh, open source applications is here. Hello, bro. I don't know why why are you asking? I've always been fine, man. Don't take it too seriously, I'm telling you. We also have Smilo. He says, "Damn bro, your art is so good." Thank you, Smilo, for the support. He says, "Keep up, man." And he said hi. And we also have Mr. Random Player 123. Damn bro, that's good. Thank you so much for the support. Smilo says, "Hope one day all your dreams come true. God bless you, man." Same to you. Same to you, Smilo. Not only the dreams that I want, but the dreams that would actually be good for me, right? Because I have lots of desires that may not be good for me. It seems open source applications. It seems your video schedule has changed. I don't have a schedule, so basically just if I have free time and if I feel good and if everything like is in order around me, there's no disturbance, like I'm not expecting any calls or any disturbance, then that's the best time for me. So I don't have a schedule since this is not a job, like, so I'm sorry if if you're expecting me to be on schedule. It's not. Anyway, it's everything is like stored on YouTube. You can watch it anytime. Not like before, right? Like in our days, we have to be like right on time. We have to wait for our favorite shows and stuff because there's no VCR. We have to record it with VCR to be able to rewatch them. Okay, so again, in recap for the email question. First, don't expect it to be easy. Expect it to be hard. And the right response to that fact that drawing is not easy is to adjust your expectations towards yourself. So take it easy and enjoy the learning process. Like, take it easy. Like, and adjust. It allows you to adjust your mental reserve, your willpower, like how much willpower you are supposed to apply to be able to learn something, right? Because in the past, like it was like, I think it was 8 years ago, I guess, I joined Ryan Kinsline's art test, and we took like a group of us, like 20 of us. We were put through this 15-day process of creating a 3D character based on, what game was that? I forgot the game. It was a 15-day. I like spent I wake up, I do the job, sleep, wake up, eat, do the job. So it's like the whole 15 days was like I was like in some the most stressful, the most mentally demanding art thing that I've ever done in my entire life. And that pushed me to the limit and beyond. I didn't improve at that. Within the 15 days, I didn't improve, right? I saw nothing. But I just kept trying to copy that character. That's all I focused on. The one character, the one reference. Tried to copy it over and over and over until I wanted to be as perfect as possible. So like after drawing the face, I compare it, like the drawing was right here. I compare it, oh my god, the edge of the face is wrong. So I had to adjust it, and I didn't have the knowledge of using stuff like that, grids and stuff. So everything was visual, everything was alignment, visual alignment. So through that, it was so frustrating, so heavy. It's not really frustrating, it was so challenging that it broke me actually. I spent like 6 months not doing art after that. It like burned me out. But when I came back, I was surprised because I started to draw. Let me look. I have it here. I had the blade one. Blade. I don't know if you can see it. So I was actually surprised that I can do it. Like it was just like I was just drawing line by line, and it was just like natural. Like, so the amount of, like, maybe what happened was I was exerting myself so much through that 15 days that my brain was forced to like establish all of these connections so that it can like function properly the next time that thing happens. Like in my T cells, maybe my body like stored information to help me, so when that like event happens again, we won't be like so like stressed. Like it wouldn't be such a struggle, right? Because our brains work like that. Our bodies are like a miracle. Like if you put it through something, it kind of tries to help you to be able to overcome that. So saying that, I'm trying to say is that when you're trying to do something and you don't see results, it's fine because your DNA, your cells in your body, in your brain are working. So just like they say, just trust in the process, like just have faith, because it's the natural way that our bodies work. Like it helps us when we're trying to do a task. Like if it gets harder, just push through, don't give up. Like if I tried to do this, for example, and it was hard, right? You can see me struggle last night, but I kept doing it, right? I kept adjusting, erasing, adjusting. Okay, let me look for some other way so I can pinpoint this exact angle, because it feels like it's higher, like something like that. So eventually, your own like experience in trying to draw something repeatedly, trying to achieve the likeness of that, actually copy it, it's going to inform your body of things that you need, so that one day when you have to do something similar or the same, it's going to be ready to do it, right? So don't worry if you don't see results right away. Just keep doing it. And if you feel tired, my mistake was that 15 days was too much. But so 15 days plus 6 months, so it's the same, right? So it's a hard 15 days and then absent for 6 months, so it's kind of the same. So why not just stretch it out, stretch the process to about 3 months slowly, like, or cut it down to 10 days each. So try to copy one drawing, like maybe the still life that I shown you. Draw that, try to copy it exactly, the shapes, the forms. Give yourself a month to do it. Like, try to finish it today, but of course it's not gonna be perfect, right? So you do a 1 hour session for today. You put it aside, watch Netflix or do your homework, whatever. Come back to it later and you'll see the mistakes, right? And then you're gonna want to sit down again and do some work, right? So you do that and then just go to sleep or whatever. Just leave it, come back tomorrow. So it's fun, right? So it's like a hobby. It becomes like part of your nature. And then there's also this thing that happens, right? When you start doing something and it's stressful because you started it wrong, right? So that's why it's very important. The first thing I said was very important. So don't think that this is easy, so you can adjust your expectations. Because when you start doing something in the wrong mindset, it's going to become an obstacle for you. So it's better to start this mindset, to see it like this is not a challenge, right? This is not a dare. This is not like a unnecessary survival element in your life. Rather, you expect it that you have to learn a lot before you can do what you want, right? So let's cut it down to small stuff. Maybe I'll start with angles, I'll start with forms, I'll start with angles, I'll start with points, or I'll start with shapes. I just copy one shape, you're fine. Like maybe you want to find this Virgin in the Rocks, crop it, just look for a shadow. But this, I don't advise this, Leonardo, because like I said last night, his shadow forms are like layered. Like, we have a shadow form here, you can see it, but then above it there's another form that intersects this one, so it might like be confusing. So find like an easier one. Maybe You can start if you want, if you're young and if you're interested, like find an anime, screenshot of an anime that you like, that's your favorite, then find the character there and then just try to copy it. Or if you like comic books, just find a panel and then copy like the character that's there, right? So just start there and remember to have fun. The goal must be that every time you sit down, you're not trying to learn something, but you're trying to draw, actually, just to have fun, right? Just keep drawing it, and then when you ultimately, depending on how it works out, at some point, depends on your age also, because our like priorities change depending on our age. So when you're a teenager, it might be that you become like, you enter the mating season of your life, so you're gonna be focused more on romance and stuff like that, looking for a partner. So it depends, right? When you're 30, you kind of focus on stabilizing your life. When you're 40, you're looking to like find more stability, right? So 30, we want action, we want like progress. And 40, we look for stability, consistency, reliability in your life. We want to like establish like all of that stuff. So it depends where you are. What else? Okay, so I think that's it. Like, just when you sit down, don't think that you're trying to become like someone that you admire, right? Don't try to become able to do what they are doing. When you sit down, your thinking should be, okay, I'm gonna have some fun right now, and I'm gonna make my coffee or juice or whatever, have my snack at the side, and I'm gonna have some fun. It's like watching a movie, right? When we watch a movie, we kind of prepare everything, and we're expecting to have some fun, right? So it should be like that when we're drawing. It's not like, oh my god, now I have to learn more, I have to sit down, spend an hour to draw, my god. It's not gonna work. So what you want to do is to change your mindset on this endeavor, because what I understand is sometimes when we're like watching so many YouTube videos of people doing stuff, instead of being encouraged to go back to our easel or drawing board to draw, we kind of get stuck and try to race, right? Try to like, hey, I want to do that too. So how do I do that? So you send an email, right? How do I draw like you? So again, like I said before, I would rather see you actualize yourself, like make yourself happen, make yourself full, like become the complete version of you, right? Instead of like becoming someone, like become you. Just like what I said about the handwriting. So it's everything is about you. Your art is you. So I hope that helps. Think that's all I can say. So the most important thing is your mindset. When you start sitting down to draw, although we want to learn, learning is natural. Learning always happens. Like the more you draw, the more you learn. So what we want is to guide our ourselves to want to draw always. So we want to remove all of this stuff that creates negative energy in our being inside of us, right? Like frustrations. If sometimes we admire someone so much, we want to be able to do what they do now, and that's gonna create like this tingling sensation inside at the back of our neck that's kind of draining our energy. I don't know if you can notice that. It's like a parasitic energy. It's negative. So it's better to, when you sit down and draw, better to desire to unleash yourself, to find yourself. Meaning, it's like being singing, right? When you're singing, you have your own voice. Your own voice, you can't change it unless if you're like people that can copy other people's voices. And the way you sing will always be the way you sing. So when you're a singer and you get trained to become a better singer, no one's gonna train you to become like, for example, Frank Sinatra. Like, no teacher is gonna teach you to become like someone else. Instead, they're gonna help you find your true voice. Like, for example, you're a tenor, or you have like a high-pitched voice. So they're gonna help you refine the way you bring yourself up to the high pitch, and then they're gonna teach you how to go deeper. Like, let's look for how deep you can go with your voice. Okay? And this is how you should breathe. This is how you breathe so you're more comfortable and like expressing your voice in this line. Alright? So it's the same way with drawing. It would be a disservice to you if you try to become somebody else. It's better to find you and then help you to do what you do, right? Better. So for example, if you like hard edges and like patchy drawings, and when you draw, that's actually how you draw. You don't draw lines, you don't draw shades like this. You actually draw in like patches of things, right? So that's really who you are. So your task there would then be to like understand why these patches work like this, right? So how can I do this to achieve this? What do I need to do? How do I need to do this patching to achieve this? So that's how you're going to have to study, right? For the lines, it's different. It's the curve. So how can I help myself draw a better curve? So your teacher would tell you not to hold your pen too close, because that's gonna limit the movement of your hand. If you want to draw big lines, it's better to hold like this. Okay, if you want to go small, then okay, you can do that, right? So I think the most common thing that artists would teach you is, they say like how to see things, right? How to see something. And seeing actually is very subjective. Like one person could see something else when looking at this, right? He could be seeing like the full volume, entire volume of the shadow here. For example, right, you can see all of this shape, but me, what attracts me first is these darkest lines here. And then my mind is gonna think in 3D. I'm gonna look for why that is like that. What form is it in there that's making it like that? What is creating this dark shape? Right? So that's how my mind works. And I can't help myself. I can't stop myself. That's how I see the world. So for you, it's again for when they tell you learn to see something, I guess you just have to try to copy something, like try to, after you've done all of those things, right? So you kind of slowly bring up more and more challenges to our drawing, right? It's very normal for artists. Like, for example, I'm able to do this now, so I'm gonna be interested. I'm not gonna be interested in doing something similar, right? I'm gonna like amp the thing. Like, I want to do, okay, I want to do a boogeroo again next, right? So it's part of our natural thing. I don't know if it's natural for everybody, but I guess for artists, I think it's part of our wiring. I think we want to explore more and more complex subjects, right? So just take it easy. Let's just enjoy, and there's so much to learn, so much to try, so many mediums to master, so many subjects.